Venus, the planet that represents peace, among other things, is moving into her home kingdom of Libra on November the 8th, where she will be until December 4th. And this does bode well for potential de-escalation of global conflicts that involve the word war. It also represents significant change in your life based on your sun, moon, and rising as she works her magic with both the south node of fate and a sextile to Mercury in Sagittarius. We're going to talk about how this movement of Venus through Libra is also rather rare. You haven't seen it in your life since 2005, and before that, 1986, 87, in terms of her making contact with the south node of the moon. So we'll talk about your sign, listen for your sun, moon, and rising sign. That will be probably the best way to go accurate. Most accurate is your rising, sun next, moon last, but you try it on for size. Hey, if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I love the minor asteroids and the fixed stars. I'm trying to help you navigate your life using time your best life using astrology. So we're going to start off today talking about the mundane astrology. I'm recording for my Patreon community on October 31st, and you guys will get this shortly after. I want to say, first of all, I had to re-record this. I recorded this October 30th, and here we go the day after on Halloween. I'm doing it again. So yesterday's recording had a glitch in it, and I didn't feel like it was something I could easily edit out. But on top of that, I spent a lot of time talking about the Israeli-Palestine situation. I don't think a lot of you want that content. So I'm going to briefly mention it this time. I'm not going to belabor it. I'll do a separate political video for that. But let's go into the world events and talk about what it means when Venus in general moves into Libra. Libra is the scales of balance. It's harmony. It's the scales also of commerce. Any kind of imbalance, Venus in her home kingdom will try to restore the balance. Now, we have already seen Mars has been in Libra for several weeks, and he also connected with the south node of fate. And then there was that eclipse at October the 14th at 21 Libra, which was on the ascendant of the nation of Israel. And we've seen this chaos. But Mars, of course, is not Venus. Mars is the god of war. He plowed through Libra, tipped the balance, right? Tipped the balance. Everything's disproportionate, right? Everything's out of proportion. And now he's out of Libra, and now in comes Venus cleaning up after him. So you might want to look at it like this is a potential opportunity for some sort of resolution or some kind of restoring of balance in the situation with any war in the world. That may be Ukraine and Russia. That certainly we all hope is Israel and Palestine. There is a particular time when she comes into contact with a sextile to Mercury around November 15th, which opens up in negotiations, interventions, talks, peace talks, that kind of thing can definitely be happening, especially involving the United States, because the United States is a Sagittarius rising, and that's where Mercury is. But interestingly, Iran is also a Sagittarius rising. So we have a lot of Sag rising in the world that we're having to contend with as we go through this time of calamity. Now, I want to also mention in the mundane world, I'm going to show you the chart. We're going to do all signs and talk about how some kind of letting go leads to more. Stop grasping and clutching at something, let it go. And Venus can restore and bring in something better. That's what she can do with the south node for you in your life in Libra. But also I want to point out that she's heading down the pipeline for a square to Pluto at the end of this around December 3rd, give or take sometime between the very end of November and December 3rd, she's going to square off with Pluto, who's already squared off with the nodes of fate. And that is a very intense energy. I'm not going to cover that today. Okay. And the reason is that is its own noteworthy, very rare event, right? Because it's both the nodes of fate squaring Pluto and Venus chiming in. We haven't seen that for many, 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 many years. And so we're going to talk about what that might mean for each of us and the world closer to the end of November. So if you haven't liked, subscribed, and joined my channel yet, please do. This is where you'll get that kind of content that tells you what's going on in the world and how astrology reflects what is happening in the world. The sky, as above, so below, as below, so above, is nothing more than the reflection of world events through the celestial movements of planets and stars and asteroids. Now, just to be clear, they're not causing events in the world. In my humble opinion, they're simply mirroring them so that we can understand what the deep archetypal meaning of the sky is. So let's talk about a little bit of a story, and then we're going to do all signs. I'm not going to belabor this, but I want you to understand the rhythmic nature of astrology, right? The purpose of astrology is to say, wow, Venus is going through the sign of Libra. And how special is it? Not. It's every year. But it's special this time because the south node of fate is in Libra, tropical Western zodiac Libra, will be there until January of 2025, enter there in July of 2023. So when the South Node is here, it's a karmic destined chunk of real estate. There are 12 pie slices of whole sign house real estate in your natal chart. Please don't use Placidus. Get my tutorial, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. And the Libra part of your sky is receiving something you haven't seen since 2000 and fall of 2004, 2005 into 2000, early 2006, with an eclipse cycle moving through the Libra part of the sky. At the same time, here comes Venus. Here comes Venus. When was she there last? And what does it mean in terms of cyclical story, especially with Israel, but also with you in your life? So I know most of you weren't here in 1912, 1911, 1912, but she was meeting the South Node in Libra back then. Then in 1930-31, which of course we know was the beginning of the Great Depression, unfortunately. Then she was there in 1949. What's special about 1949? It was the creation of the State of Israel. So Venus was moving through Libra in the year with the South Node of fate that the inception of the State of Israel was what happened. Now, Israel is a Libra rising, and that means that Venus is the most important planet for this nation of Israel. So keep that in mind. So we've got 1949. Then in 1967-68, Venus moved with the South Node and contacted the South Node in Libra. Remind you, it's a Libra rising Israel. Venus is their most important planet. What happened when Venus in 1967-68 moved through the sign of Libra? Does anybody know the answer? That's when Israel captured the Gaza Strip in 1967. Alrighty, so there you go. That's when the Gaza Strip became a part of Israel. Alrighty, and there was a population of 394,000 people. An Israeli census that year put Gaza's population at 349,000, and 60% of them were refugees. I'm just reading off of Wikipedia. I'm not going to spend much time in here. I just want to say there was a war in 67, 68. Israel was attacked by other Arab nations, and they captured the Gaza Strip. So we had the inception of Israel when Venus and North Node came together in 1949. We have the capturing of the Gaza Strip. Watch for the rhythm here in 67, 68, and Venus was doing the South Node thing in Libra. And then we have the next big story was 1986 and 1987, when Venus was going through the sign of Libra and joining together with the node. Now, this is your life too. I'm going to talk about Israel, but think about your life. What were you doing in 1986, the fall, and 1987? Because we're going to talk about that for all signs as well. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what might have been going on in 86, 87 with Israel and Palestine. In 1987, there was a Palestinian uprising, the first intifada, or uprising or rebellion or protest against Israel. So that was the first intifada, 1967, Venus, South Node, on the ascendant of Israel, the Lord of the planetary body that rules them. There may be more. I'm just giving you some basic ideas here. You guys might know more about what happened in 86, 87 than I do. Put it in the comments below. And then finally, August of 2005, Venus, South Node co-joined in Libra. Do you guys know what happened in August of 2025 in the history of the nation of Israel? All right, so what happened was they left the Gaza Strip. They actually decided to pull out. So again, we're seeing this continual connection to major events that happen in this timeline of Israel connected to this thing. They left the Gaza Strip and then they penned in or blockaded the Palestinian people. And since 2005, it was August of 2005 that Venus was with the South Node, and it was August of 2005 precisely that the Israeli government decided to pull out all forces from the Gaza Strip, but then to blockade or pen in that particular strip of land. So you have to understand that since 2005, the Palestinian people have been like trapped. And so a lot of people call it the open air prison, or other commentators have called it a concentration camp or a ghetto. But you can't get out of Palestine without going through blockades and border crossings. They're sort of hemmed in there, right? So what you've got is, here we go again. Venus will co-join with the South Node during her transit through Libra, and she's going to do that around November the 29th. So you want to bracket that by a week on either side, if you ask me, to look for the next true iteration of what's happening here. The only hope I have is November 15th, she will sextile Mercury in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a hot sign. You know, it's a sign of the United States of America's ascendant. Maybe Joe Biden has a Sag rising. It's possible that what we might see here possibly is and I believe, yes, Let me think. Netanyahu is also a Sag rising. Yes, because he has a Virgo 10th house, midheaven. By the way, I'm going to do a whole video on that, about the thunderbolts of Zeus, because Netanyahu has the asteroid Hephaestus on his midheaven in Virgo, and Hephaestus is representative of the armorer of the gods who created the thunderbolts for Zeus. And I do believe in Israel, they're calling this the iron swords war. Okay. So back to this idea here. What can happen November 15th, give or take a few days on either side, is some governing body or some world coalition can jump right in there and try to cobble out some kind of ceasefire, pullback, peace agreements, two-state solutions on an emergency table. I am concerned, though, because then after that on November 29th, and then on December 3rd, the square to Pluto, but on the 29th, the Venus on the South Node, who knows? But you do have to remember that in 2005, Venus on the South Node was when Israel pulled out of the Gaza Strip. So it may recapitulate a pulling away from the ground forces coming into the Gaza Strip, for example. So let's go on and talk about your sign. I needed to at least get a cursory overlook at the rhythmic cycle of the sky, so you understand astrology is repeating cycles. The sky is goddess's clock. It tells the time. It tells what the time is about. I want you to listen for your rising first, sun and moon secondarily. If you're new to my channel, hit that like button. If you're listening in the live premiere, also please thumbs up me and help me grow. Thanks to all my regulars. Ashley Sending Light, Discerning Light, One Wise Lady, Stephen the Jupiterian, Jupiter 8, Michael Thrash, Serge LaBelle, Linda Calder, Misbehaving, L.A. Taylor, Herbal Empress, Grounded Extracts. I'm going to forget some people, I know it. And more. Thank you for being a part of my regular crew who comes to the live premieres with me every single time, where we chat about the astrology and our lives together and create community around astrology. If that appeals to you, when you subscribe to my channel and you watch my videos, I pre-record them, but you get to chat with me and ask questions about the astrology in the live premiere. And I will reflect even personal questions if you give me one that's meaningful to the topic at hand. Alrighty? So let's get going. Let's do the all signs video. I can't believe I'm recording this a second time around. I'm recording, so last night I finished it and realized I forgot to talk about 2005 in the all signs portion. I'm like, oh, let's go ahead and re-record. Let me grab the chart and we'll get off to the races. Okay, guys, I'm pulling up our chart. Let me find it. Share recording. Okay, how come it's not showing me my share button? That's new. I've never seen that happen before. I just want to share with you. There it is. Oh my goodness. I just updated the software. I'm not sure about whether it changed the settings. Okay, here we are. Let's get going and talk about you. I'll give you guys about 4 minutes, 3 minutes maybe per sign. So Aries, sun, moon, rising. I'm one of you. I'm a sun and a moon. Here's what's going on. We have that Venus transit through our 7th house of marriage, business partnerships, audience, etc., marketplace for our work, 10th from the 10th house. That's why it's the marketplace or the audience for the work you do in the world. And so interestingly enough, if you want to go back to 2006 and you want to go back to 2005, I should say, August of 2005, and you want to go back to 1986 and 87 in the fall, and you can go back further if you're old enough to 67, 68, this is when this has also occurred. What are you needing to let go of, release, surrender, and loosen your grip when it comes to those significant other relationships or even legal agreements and legal contracts and vows? Venus will be in a sextile to Mercury here in the 9th house, and that's happening around November 15th, give or take a few days on either side. This is allowing for some positive developments regarding a significant love relationship, foreign shores and foreign lands and travel, also visas, passports. But if that's not a part of your narrative, court resolutions working in your favor, legal matters going super well, or perhaps some really good news coming from the book publishing world, like you got your agent, or from the academic environment, you got the best professor you ever wanted, or you got accepted at your perfect school. Those are possibilities from 3rd house, 7th house matters. And, the other idea here, Venus is letting go, releasing and surrendering with the South Node, something you don't need in the 7th house, something is time to sort of let it go down the drain, right? Let it excrete from your life, the tail of the serpent. Rahu, Ketu, this is the butt end of it. I use my sun and moon as an example, because sun can be career, for example. example, and moon can be my body and my health. I'm letting go of seeing as many clients. I know that it's already true. I'm going to cut down my client load down by 2/3 for 2024. The pace of making videos, doing clients is draining me physically, and teaching classes, something has to give. So in my mind, that's what I'm letting go of. So something with my client audience. So you reflect on that, because what you let go of, like, what did you let go of in 2005 in the summer, and what did you let go of in 86, 87? I let go of a country. I moved to the United States, but it was also about the last thing I'll say. If you're single or you're in a relationship and you see Venus South Node, this is a deepening of the spiritualness. You're meeting a spiritual soulmate, or you're deepening your connection to an existing a soul friend, like a lover, major love relationship. And if I use me as an example, in 86, 87, I married my first husband, father of my children, with that South Node transit, and moved to New York City. And then in August of 2005, I have to remember what happened to me in 2005, because I'm using me as an example. I think that's a lot about when I seriously decided to let go of my clients. I moved to Canada in 2003, and I was still seeing some US clients for my psychic readings business. And I decided to let that go completely. So it was less about a love story. Oh no, I got a divorce. I divorced the same guy I married. In 2005, I got my divorce from the guy that I married. Talk about a rhythm. In 1986, 87, I moved in with him in 86. We got married in 87, moved to New York City, got divorced in 2005. Look for those patterns in your life. That's for me as an Aries sun and moon. And reminding you, Venus is in your 7th house from November the 8th all the way through, okay? Drum roll, please, to December the 4th. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Venus is the lord of your sign. She matters to you. You matter to her. She takes care of you. She's moving through your 6th house of health and work routines and job and colleagues, coworkers, pets. Pets are there, as well as debts you have, as well as rental leases and contracts. So here she's giving you a glow up between November the 8th and December the 4th, but reminding you that she's coming into contact with the South Node for the first time since 2005, and 1987 and 86 as well are the last time. What did you have to let go of? Did a pet pass away? I hate to say it. Did you have to change a rental situation? Did you manage to let go of some kind of indebtedness to another person or monetary debt as well? So go back and track those cycles. And how about your health? Venus can bring you better health when she moves through the house of sickness, but she's also touching down with the South Node, suggesting a letting go, likely with the North Node in the 12th house and Chiron and addiction, a bad habit, vaping, cigarettes, wine, whatever you do that you shouldn't be doing. A lot of Tauruses will be able to successfully release that self-undoing bad habit addiction that imperils your health throughout this transit of Venus, particularly closer to the time where she's going to cross over that South Node, which is the 29th of November. My daughter is going sober November, and she's a Taurus, right? So you see it already there, Taurus sun, with her friends. They're all doing sober November. Halloween was too much for them. Oh my God, the parties. I would also encourage you to think about, if you're single and you start dating someone, South Node Venus means you're dating a soulmate, a karmic relationship, a hyper-destined person, and that could easily turn into a dating situation, becoming a long-term relationship after December the 3rd. Alrighty, the sextile to Mercury is really good for your money, your chunky money. You may get some kind of tax rebate, some kind of relief in your finances, some kind of good news about your stock portfolio, some kind of possible news about inheritance is coming to you, good things in your chunky money as well during this transit of Venus through the sign of Libra, especially around November, the middle of the transit, November the 15th. This is a quickie. I have to see clients and record more videos today. All right, Halloween, the veil is thin, and Gemini, sun, moon, and rising going on in the sky is that Venus transit last seen in August of 2005 and the fall of 1986 and 87 with the South Node through your 5th house of romantic love, children, all right, fertility, creativity, entrepreneurship. What happened to me in 1987? Oh, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not a Gemini. So my Gemini girlfriend got married in 1986, 87. So there's a perfect example because it's a house of romance. And so consider, what were you doing back then? What were you doing in 2005? But don't forget, Venus South Node can be about destined love, destined children, destined pregnancy, destined relationship stuff. But she's also saying let go, release, a pleasure or a satisfaction. Find the joy, not just as temporary satisfaction of pleasure. Pleasure will not not last. Joy is eternal and causeless. So diving deeper into your soulfulness, what brings you joy. She's in the house of entrepreneurial endeavors and creative endeavors. You could write your masterpiece song, or you could let go of some kind of entrepreneurial endeavor that's not right for you at this time. Again, 2005 and 1986-87 fall and August of 2005 are when you want to compare notes. It's going to be exact. She will be exactly on the South Node around the 29th of November. And you also would like to consider for you, and squaring Pluto, but anyway, I hope I got those dates right. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I do. So what I want to say to you as well is this. If you have any desire for pregnancy, this is a soulmate pregnancy. If you get knocked up during this transit, this is like your soul child. Okay. And this is, again, the dates of the transit are in the graphic. And then really good news coming through from the Mercury story. Good news that your partner in love or business is having, or good news from a client, or good news around legal matters to do with children, fertility, entrepreneurship, creativity, enjoyment of life. Mercury can be some significant other bringing some good news to you. It could also be good money luck news. For some of you Geminis, it's not a bad idea to play the lottery at this time. If you want to buy a ticket during this transit, because of that sextile to Mercury around November 15th, and Mercury rules games of chance, this could be your time to win. Know your limit, though, and play within it, as they say in Canada for our national lottery. Let's move on. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is going to be Venus moving in the sky through the sign of Libra from November the 8th to December the 4th. And she is going to be connecting with that South Node last seen in 2005 August and 86-87 in the fall of those years. Home, property, land, real estate, moving, changing your home, changing things within your home. Certainly, a normal Venus transit through the fourth house could be decorating your home, having a female visit and live with you in the home, or having joy and pleasure in your home. But right now, it's kind of like South Node. Do you have to let go of something, some situation, or someone in the home? Or do you have to think about letting go of your home? Is it time to move? With that South Node transit through your fourth house all the way through to January 2025, a lot of you will be moving your home, especially if you're floating, I see, in whole sign houses, falls in that fourth house as a Cancer rising sun and moon. Second of all, there's that gorgeous sextile. So, look at your history. What did you do? I think my sister Nancy, who's Cancer rising 86-87, might have moved out of my mom's home and moved into her own house with her husband-to-be, or husband at that time. She might have gotten married then too. So then you've got this transit of the sextile energy going on between houses 4 and 6. Good news about your debts, debt elimination. Good news about pets. Good news about things to do. Get a new pet under this. It's going to be a lovely new pet. You may indeed want a new pet. You may hear about a new pet that's available in your neighborhood or on the local news or something like that, or Facebook Marketplace, and you're going to end up getting a new pet. So some of you Cancers are petting up during this November 15th sextile, give or take a few days, from Mercury to Venus. You also may get some really good news about a rental situation, also some very good news about debt elimination, and some really good news about your health. Okay, especially if you're pursuing healthy pleasures in your home, you might get a blood work test back that looks amazing, that kind of thing. Again, November 15th, give or take a few days. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. What goes on here is that you have the transit of Venus, last seen, by the way, in August of 2005 and fall of 86 and 87, with connections to the South Node. So you might go back to those times of your life, but this transit from November the 8th to December the 4th is in your third house of younger siblings, siblings in general, cousins, and neighbors and neighborhood, local environment, your online virtual neighborhood, including social media platforms and the ability to communicate, including writing. So this third house is a big deal right now for you, and Venus is going through here. Certainly a female sibling may be on your radar during this time, especially a younger one. You may also be looking at travel. People travel not long, far away distance places, but they do travel. And there may be an opportunity for travel. With the South Node, though, it's going to feel like you've been there before. Oh, I felt like I've been here before. It's very, I must have had a past life here. But you can travel also to a place that's deeply spiritual, time for a retreat, go to the ashram, go to the spiritual spa or something like that. Now, don't forget, you also have to maybe look at the letting go part. Don't clench, let go of your Let go of hyper focus on a sibling, or one of your siblings is going through some letting go in their story and it's not really even about you. And that's very possible. A sibling, a cousin, a neighbor is having a releasing energy during this time. However, you can always go back to 2005 and 86, 87 to see how it played out in your life back then. Also, don't forget, on November 15th or so, we have a sextile to Mercury in your fifth house of children. And there may be some news, information, or discussions with a child or a lover coming through for you, or some interesting opportunity for leisure travel. Mercury in the fifth, Venus in the third, a leisure trip coming your way that you may want to plan, take, or hear about, or get an opportunity to do. If you're entrepreneurial, Mercury in your third house, sextiling Venus is giving you a glow up on the social media land, website type places where you do your online entrepreneurship. But if you have a brick and mortar business, it's just as good. Some kind of nice little glow up in your entrepreneurial self-starter energies. Now, what I'm going to do is stop the share, remind you to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to grab a handful of granola because I got to see a client right after you guys. And yes, I know I always sound like I never eat. By the way, do you guys like this? It's a rattlesnake earring, and it's copper to swoo. I'm not an affiliate, but they're beautiful earrings, and my code is Lori15. I'll put it in the description box. And I have the same rattlesnake pendant for my neck and the bracelet too. But I just love these. They just sent them to me this week, and I've been wearing them. So if you're into this kind of thing, I'm not making money by telling you about it. I just love the jewelry. All right, I'm going to pause the recording. Give me a sec. Ah! I totally forgot to tell you guys, my 2024 videos are now available. 75 minutes times 12 of them. It's the bundle and a PDF document, a guidelining the whole year of 24 that I've written for you. That is a pre-sale order. They're released to you by email on November 25th. It's 35% off, bringing it to only $49. If that kind of thing interests you, this content never goes public. I sell the deep dive videos every single year. And they're part of my, the way I make my money. So if you want to support me, it's not free content on YouTube. It's always for sale every November, December. Moving on. OMG, they changed this. I just updated the software and there's the share. Why doesn't it show up when I'm in small mode? Okay, make sure I've got the share working on Zoom. I do. Okay, moving forward. And we're moving out of the Leo zone. We just did you, and we're moving forward to Virgo, my daughter, sun, moon, and rising sign. Everyone knows my daughter's a Virgo rising. I use people I know as examples. Anecdotes make sense to share ideas of how it works. So Venus is in the second house. Venus is in the house of money, earnings, prosperity, possessions, your face, and what you put in your mouth and what you ingest through your mouth. So Venus here can help clean up your food style, make you fit more physically beautiful. It's ideal for cosmetic surgery. I would kind of advise against it with the South Node, however, as an exception to the rule, because it may not go as well as you would like, or cosmetic procedures. Nonetheless, it is good for your finances. Well, go back to 2005 August, go back to 1986, 87, kind of late summer, fall. What was going on in your earnings house? Where did you have to let go of something or to release it in order to let Venus bring you something better in you? My daughter is carrying 2 jobs and going to school full time. She can't keep it up. She's going to have to let go of one of those jobs. That's probably what that is for her. What are you letting go of, though, in your earnings and money house between November the 8th and December the 4th? It is also something you can look back historically and go, oh yeah, that was like 86, 87. That was like 2005. All right. You will feel this letting go more acutely closer to the third week of the month of November into around like the 29th of November. That's when it starts to really pick up that South Node Venus energy. But middle of November, around November the 15th, what we're seeing here is really lovely. We're seeing that sextile to Mercury in your 4th house. And that could mean some kind of really good news coming through around home, land, property, legacy wealth, things to do with good communications with somebody you live with, things to do with news or information from your mother or family of origin that benefits you financially around November the 15th. You could also look at Mercury down here as buying and selling real estate and property. And that could be something that suddenly comes up for you as an option to take possession of a home and buy it, or to sell a home. Either one is possible if that's on your radar. I do think that Mercury here can also be about family secrets being revealed from the Mercury's blabbermouth way. I mean, Mercury is in Sagittarius, where he tends to overinflate things, but I do like the idea that you could have some information about your family of origin revealed to you that can benefit you financially. Oh yeah, grandma's stuck, diamonds under her mattress and we just found them there, and here you can have some. Anything like that could happen. It's just a very sweet spot for you in the sky, November 15th, give or take a few days on either side. Finally, if you're looking for a job, trying to apply for a job, and you want to get a new job, Venus brings you luck in that work and prosperity energy. Again, South Node could be a fated job, a destined job, etc. And your speech is eloquent. Your speech is beautiful. You're able to command, convince, and charm people when Venus is in the house of speech. So that's also very good. And lastly, Venus wants you to find balance in your pleasures. Time to find the balance between overindulgence and excessive use of pleasurable food styles or drinks or vapes, and find the balance point. I already mentioned my daughter's a Taurus sun, but she's also a Virgo rising, and she's going to do Sober November with her friends. She's in her early 20s, and that's an example of Venus finding balance in the house of things we put in our mouth. So hopefully you'll find that balance as well. If you're in the live premiere, don't forget to hit my like button. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a story for you that looks to me a lot like Venus is giving you a glow up. She comes through the house of you once a year. And of course, Libra, this is your time to feel more beautiful, charming, persuasive, likable, and like yourself a lot more as well. Good time for new haircuts and wardrobes, all of that. This is November the 8th to December the 4th. But unlike most years, she's also connected to the South Node, and that last happened in 86, 87 during the late summer, fall, and also August of 2005. What did you need to let go of? What did you release or surrender? What did you flush down the drain to do with your identity and who you think you are, especially who you think you are in terms of I am, whatever Venus says you are, beautiful, likable, lovable, attractive, charming, Miss Congeniality, Mr. Popularity. So you're going to have to understand that the letting go of some kind of concept of self is to your benefit. So you may have to release some sense of self-awareness about some part of who you are. And that's most acute as you get to the last week of November into early December. But also Venus here, she could be about something like you are lucky, Venus, and you're lucky because of something you need to let go of. Now, Mercury around November the 15th, give or take a few days on either side, is opening up a good news story from your house of your siblings, cousins, neighbors, neighborhood, online world, trips and travel, short distances usually. Skills-based learning, an opportunity to take a class you always wanted to get into, an opportunity for a trip that brings you great joy and delight, shorter distances usually, an opportunity for some good news coming through from a sibling that it's going to affect you in a positive way, or from a cousin, or even from a neighbor or neighborhood person. And all of that feels to me like you're going to really enjoy feeling the good energy coming from third house people, right? It's maybe not even about you, but you're cheering on that neighbor, sibling, or whatever. Certainly if your IC floats in the third house using whole sign houses, you could have a new opportunity for a home, especially with Venus going to square Pluto later on in the narrative. So you may have a move to a new neighborhood or a new home as a result of this story. And I think with Venus here on the South Node, if you have a downturn in your sense of well-being around your physical appearance and your beauty, go back to 2005, 1986, 87. Did you feel down in the dumps about some physical body ailment? Venus she's weak when she's with the South Node. It's weakening her, but she's still a benefic, and it could be a time to turn around any kind of challenging chronic health challenge, because Venus is Saturn is the exaltation lord of your body, and he's going through the house of sickness. So anything that's enduring, lingering chronic health challenges can be turned around with some help from Venus, but maybe it's because of what you let go of, not what you add to your lifestyle. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign. Venus is moving in your 12th house for November the 8th to December the 4th. This is a subtle placement, your dreams at night, your inner life, backroom deals and negotiations, or your private bed pleasures. But also this is a place where you get quite possibly revenue from foreign countries, foreign shores, and foreign or international sources. My son works for PepsiCo. He's a Scorpio rising. That's an international company. So I could make an argument he's going to make some more money. You get a raise or promotion if you have an international organization, company, or revenue source in your life. So he's a Scorpio rising. So this could be good for your money. But remember, there's letting go, releasing, surrendering. And because Venus is also in the house of far off shores and lands, and the South Node is there, some of you may plan a trip, book a trip, or take a trip to a foreign shore that is going to feel like you've been there before, that I have a resonance, like, oh, I must have lived here in another lifetime. That's the vibe. Okay. You also could end up having some really interesting, exciting, positive, new experiences in your sex life, going deeply more spiritual with your partner. South Node Venus in the 12th house, especially the third week of November into early December. I do really like that Mercury for your money. Mercury in the money and resources house of your second house is in a sextile to Venus. And sure, he's in Sagittarius. He's not his best self there, but he's still doing a good thing with Venus. So good, interesting, positive news or developments around finances for you around November 15th. It could come from backroom deals and negotiations, people who are behind the scenes working on your behalf. It could come from foreign countries and foreign lands. It could come from a female in a hospital. That's Venus, but in a positive way. Here's some money. I just found out, I'm not doing so well, but I want to give you money. I don't know, something like that. Venus is not a parent, by the way. So, because Venus here also can be about the esoteric and the spiritual, a female spiritual teacher or guide could be emerging in the middle of November. But yeah, it's got a lot of money energy with mid-November's Mercury in your second house. I would say an opportunity emerges from behind the scenes financially that may be quite delightful for many of you Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising in mid-November. Don't forget, this is general bell curve astrology. Not everyone will have this happen, but many of you may. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. I would tell you to go back to 2005, August, 1986, 87, late summer into August, into the fall, because that's the last time Venus moved through Libra and talk to the South Node. So you experience the transit from November the 8th to December 4th in the house of good spirit, a place of very powerful positivity. So Venus normally can bring you social times with friends up here, more fun with your friends, new female friends, gorgeous, happy times around prosperity, that you're increasing your gains or your earnings from your career path. So often raises, promotions happen when Venus moves through the 11th house in my experience. Although there are pennies from heaven, a bit of a windfall thing that can happen in the fairy godfather, godmother house of the sky, karmic rewards. However, the South Node suggests letting go, releasing and surrendering something as well. You may need to let go of a group of belonging, a friendship circle, or a friend, or they may let go of you. If that happens, go back to look at history. What was happening in 2005, Sagittarius, August, what was happening in 1986, 87, fall. Those are going to maybe repeat in some fundamental way. Venus is like fairy godmother here, but she says, look at the South Node. What is the deeper spiritual thing that you strive for in your dreams, hopes, and wishes for your life? There's almost a quality of asking you to go deeper below the surface. Like, Neo in the Matrix breaks free of the Matrix, but Cypher wants to go back in and get the steak, wine, and cigar, even though it's not real. The perks of life, the great gains, the rewards are in that 11th house, but South Node is spiritualizing it. I mean, and often, people's South Node transit through here, which goes to 2025, is a letting go of friendship groups and belongings and circles of people, maybe because you're moving away or they're moving away, but there's shifts there as well. Now that sextile to Mercury, you have information news, you are talking, communicating, and ideating, Mercury's with you, in a kind of bold and faith and optimistic way to an elder sibling, that's the 11th house Venus, a friend who's an ally or benefactor. This is mid-November, November 15th, 16th, give or take a few days, and you're having some kind of good news conversations or great ideas. You may be collaborating with a friend, or you may be talking to a friend about something very exciting and important to you around mid-November. They could also increase your prosperity or your enjoyment, but it could be something as simple as an elder sibling or a really good friend that you really appreciate tells you they're going to help you in some way or favor you in some way. So look forward to that mid-November glow up. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. In the story of you have this Venus transit November the 8th to December the 4th, moving through your 10th house of career. This is usually raises, promotions, perks, glow-ups, popularity in the workplace, and office romances. As Venus goes through this part of your sky, however, which she has not done with the South Node since 2005, August, 1986, 87, late summer and into the fall, what is this about? Are you looking at a repeat story? What happened in your career space and reputation space back then? Quite possibly you're going to let go of a job. You want to release your grip on some career path and open up to something new. If you don't have a job, then you're going to let go of some concept of how your reputation is meant to look in the world, right? I'm going to release that. I'm no longer identified as that type of person or as that person doing this thing in the world. But Venus is bringing, good things to you, lucky opportunities in career and reputation. And the South Node can represent destined opportunities, karmic opportunities coming through from soulmate-y type people or soul tribe or soul pod or whatever you want to call it. Now, what you've got going on here as well is you've got that sextile from Mercury in the house of foreigners, foreign lands, foreign shores, and revenue and business from foreign lands, foreign shores, or opportunities to travel to foreign shores. So look to mid-November 15th, give or take a few days on either side for an opportunity to travel to a foreign country connected to reputation and work, or an opportunity to make some money from a foreign shore or foreign place or foreigner. 12th house news and information can come from dreams at night. You may have a powerful idea come through a dream at night in mid-November that allows you to really move into a place of ease and power and proper alignment in terms of career and reputation. That is a mid-November story for you around that 15th of November. And lastly, Venus up here, women in positions of power who are destined to support you are showing up in your world. Yes. Women, egg bearers. Okay. I'm one of you, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. We've got the story going on here of Venus moving through the sign of Libra, which is our ninth house of foreign shores, foreign lands, and foreigners. Also court and legal matters, academic settings. What were you doing back in 2005, August, also 1986? 87, late summer into the fall, because it's back. 86, 87, Lori for Love moved to the United States, moved to Manhattan. So that is what happened for me. And if I go back to 2005 as Aquarius rising, I was doing what? Well, I got a divorce, but in ninth house is legal matters and South Node is letting go. So I got the court decreed stamp in the summer of 2005 that my divorce is final. So that's exactly what that is, right? South Node, Venus, Libra stuff. That was August of 2005. I got my decree in July. So there's things to do with legal matters, courts, love, visas, travel, passports, things to do with your highest spiritual inclinations. You can meet a deeply soulful spiritual leader guide like Amma or the hugging saint, during this transit. Did you meet any saints in August of 2005? I actually did. I got a Diksha on my head in 2005 from this woman who was working with the Diksha community in India. So there was that, where's this female saint energy coming in to your life? In 86, 87, I found, I stumbled onto the autobiography of a yogi and started my spiritual quest during that time. So your spiritual life is getting some divine intervention and destined energies as well. It's really good for winning in a legal matter, but with the South Node, you might have to compromise and let go and let God in order for things to emerge in their proper order. And if it's an academic setting, again, you could, apply for a university or college. In August 2005, I went to school again. I went back to school and was going to get my master's, and I started that direction in fall of 2005, but I didn't continue it, right? I let go within the same year and realized it wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't need to get my master's in transpersonal psych, but I actually did 2 years of it before I let go. I would say if you're starting a path of education with this energy in place, then you might really want to ask yourself if it's your true path, okay? Because Venus in the South Node can be letting go of something as well in academic environments. And then there's sextiling to Mercury. I like that Mercury sextile. It's mid-November around the 15th, give or take a few days on either side. Some really good news coming through a friend, a group of belonging, a social group, maybe even a great perk financially to do with the word international, revenue, and career gains. Some of you may even have some communication with a sibling. If it's an elder sibling, that's very positive, involves an opportunity for travel, for example. Mercury here is very sociable in the 11th house, and Venus is in the house of travel. So a very exciting time for sociable travel and with others, more than one person, like a group. A travel opportunity may emerge in mid-November, give or take a few days on either side, but it would likely involve foreign shores, foreign lands, or traveling with a foreign friend. Okay, get ready for that. And again, look at history. Go back and see what happened in those other dates I gave you. Then you can maybe connect the dots in a meaningful way. And finally, and best, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. Oh, good. I'm finishing just in time to have some granola before my first client, Pisces. It looks to me like what you've got going here is a chunky money story. This is good for you. You could get some really good developments going on from November the 8th to December 4th regarding inheritances, regarding stock investments, regarding tax rebates, regarding alimony, palimony situations. Now, the South Node is to let go, release, and surrender as well. And the call of the sky over the next 2 years is to get less reliant on that chunky money, spousal shared resources, inheritance money, investment money, 401k, and all of that, and move away from that and move instead toward earning money. And a lot of you Pisces are going to heal the chironic wound that started in 2019 around your finances. But this is a let go, let God. Venus in South Node in your chunky money house. Unfortunately, it can also look like inheritance as a transit, as a general principle. Venus is here with the South Node. It's like a mixed bag, right? Here comes the money, but I got it from someone else. With her square to Pluto at the end of the month, it can be from an elder sibling. Now, the other thing I'd say to you, don't worry about it though if your elder sibling's 25. I'm just talking about for people from whom that makes sense. Someone accused me of being too scary in my content. I'm just realistic, I'm giving you all the options. And I think that because, deep sexual intimacy belongs to the 8th house, like the tantric, sex magic, soul stuff. And you could have some spiritual energy going on there with an existing love partner. Or if you're single, meeting a new love partner who's destined, but it's a secret relationship and the world can't see it. And that's only for some of you Pisces, secret love relationship or deeply tantric magical love is coming into the story November the 8th through to December the 4th. The sextile to Mercury is career opportunity that brings you greater money. So chunky money is interesting. It's like less like a paycheck though, it could be royalty income, passive income. My sister Cindy is a Pisces rising, selling a property. So Venus here can bring you a chunk of money from the sale of a possession, right? Especially with the North Node in the second house. So you may sell a property, especially with Mercury ruling the house of real estate. So there can be some good news around a chunky money from property sales or other things. But with Mercury in the 10th house, some of this is coming through your career and reputation energy, Pisces. An opportunity, news, or information coming through. Get someone to look at the fine print because Mercury's in Sag, but it may involve travel, international shores, or international energy, Sagittarius, that is allowing you to open up an opportunity of some sort, or a very noble faith, hope, and optimism kind of new opportunity for some income or money. Well, income is maybe not exactly the right word, but some money coming to you in a kind of qualitative chunk. Like you could get a severance package, a sign-on bonus, that kind of thing for a new job opportunity. And when Venus is in your 8th house, it's a spiritual house. It's a very deep spiritual place. Moksha, liberation belongs there, as well as houses 4 and 12. So you may have some spiritual breakthroughs and insights and ideas. But if you do during this transit, you want to apply them to something that you want to communicate Mercury or ideate Mercury in a hope-filled way, in a very inspiring, motivational way to the rest of the world. Venus exalts you. She's the Lord that exalts you. And so you have a special relationship with her. And so when she's in your 8th house, there's definitely a quality here of going deeper with your spiritual awareness. And around November 15th with that sextile to Mercury, maybe having a great idea or clarity or understanding coming through your mind around something deeply spiritual. And, Mercury up at the top of the sky is ruled by Jupiter in your 3rd house. And there may be also, because of Uranus, a lightning bolt of understanding that comes through a travel opportunity or trip that has a spiritual energy. Only for some of you, of course. This is the middle of November. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for being a part of my world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I can't believe I had to re-record this whole thing on Halloween Day when I did it all on October 30th. Okay, my next couple of videos coming up, we're going to be the Mercury transit through the sign of Sagittarius, and also that really dramatic and intense, and someone hold my hand, Scorpio moon is coming up, new moon that's coming up around the 12th, 13th of the month of November. Gak. I don't like it. I really don't like it. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the live premiere, for all of you cheering me on and hopefully hitting my like button. Copper to Swoo, 15% off, Lori 15. I'm going to share this content about these earrings and their jewelry, I think, in my 24 videos that I'm recording. I'm going to start recording in early November. And I'll probably, get an affiliate link because I really love their jewelry. I mean, it's just so cool. It like moves like a snake's tail. I'm not afraid of snakes. Are you? I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. I love snakes. I've held snakes. I had a boa around my neck before. No problem with snakes here. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.